everybody, welcome to Face the Music. So again, I'm still on my trip. I have not returned home again. You can see behind me different studio, different locations. So anyways, and that's okay. I'll be back home again in the next few days, and then hopefully be able to get back into the swing of things with all my albums and everything there that I normally show you for album of the day to start off with, which I'll do right now. Again, improvise. Don't have the physical albums with me here, but check out this album right here. This came out in 1983. This is called, this is the Asia album Alpha. It's one of my favorite albums. It has got some fantastic songs. If you know this group, super group, right? John Wetton and the guys, Steve Howe, Carl Palmer, all these guys that were actually like a super group coming from other groups that formed together this one band. It's kind of like Damn Yankees and so forth. We'll have those guys actually out on this album, on this channel very shortly too. But Asia, I want to have these guys again out here. I'm not sure if I've actually had them before or not. I may have had them about a year or so ago. It's been a while. They need to get back out here. But this album right here, Alpha, just fantastic. Great songs. Don't Cry. The Smile Has Left Your Eyes. I think it's, without looking at the track listing right now, The Heat Goes On. One of my favorite songs off of this album. Just fantastic. Just great. So if you've ever heard these guys, you already know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you don't know these guys, let me tell you right now, check out this album right here, Asia Alpha, and they had some other, songs beforehand, I think, off of their, previous album, Asia. But again, I mean, just some great music. So anyways, I'm going to get these guys out here, hopefully on the channel in the not too distant future, but it's just a great, great sound, great album. So if you're not familiar with them, check it out, Asia Alpha. Okay. So today I'm going to be checking out a song. Now, I mentioned a few episodes ago that I was going to be doing this song, and I had some comments. And I want to get into like the politics of all this other stuff. Let me just tell you right now, this is what's happening in our country right now, in America. This is what's big. This is what's going on. I would be remiss, and I would be doing it totally wrong if I didn't include this song on this channel right now. And for I know I have an international audience, so many of you internationally may not be too familiar with this song or what's going on currently in our country with this song right now. So going back a few episodes, I actually did Luke Combs and Fast Car, and there was a controversy at that time. I thought it was kind of nonsense, but it was a controversy about Luke Combs, country singer, doing a cover of Fast Car, originally done by Tracy Chapman. So that was kind of a weird thing, but the song itself was great. What was weird was just that there was a controversy about it. I didn't think that there was any reason that there should be any kind of conversation or issue about it. I thought the cover was fantastic, as I thought the original was great. Okay, so they were both good. And then you had like the Jason Aldean song, Try That in a Small Town. Let me just tell you right now, and I said this I think at the time, well, let me just preface everything by saying this. This is not necessarily a political channel, right? This is a music reaction channel, right? But unfortunately, whichever way you want to go with it, politics are going to be playing into it just as they do with everything anymore, it seems. And you go back to artists like Bob Dylan, and you go back to other artists back in the day, in the 60s and the 70s, the song War, What Is It Good For, all that good stuff. Politics and things that's going on in society, culturally wise, have always been a part of music. And so to leave those songs out just because, well, some people may agree, some people may disagree, totally incorrect, okay? Everyone's free to have their own opinion, as am I. Okay, so I'm going to include these songs on the channel, and I did Try That in a Small Town. I agree 100% with what Aldean had to say. And if you look at the footage that was included in that video that he showed, I mean, it was terrible, right? It was fantastic. It wasn't fantastic. It was actually horrible, right? But it was to me, I guess what I mean to say is it was fantastic that he took the time to actually put that song together and to speak out for what a lot of other people want to say, and they just don't. This song right now, this guy his name is Oliver Anthony, and for those of you who already know, I'm just going to kind of give a brief backstory for those who don't know, who aren't familiar. His real name, I think, is Chris. Anyways, he wrote this song. This song was really just not intended to really kind of get out there in the mainstream, but he wrote it and he sang it, and he's from Virginia, and he wrote the song, and you can tell when you hear him singing that it comes from his heart, that he really puts his whole emotions into it. Now, if you've heard the song before, agree or disagree, this song, Richmond, north of Richmond. Now, for those who aren't familiar, of course, Richmond, Virginia, Washington, D.C., north of that town, that city. So, therefore, of course, the song's talking about politics, politicians in D.C. Now, according to him, and I agree, that the song isn't necessarily just relegated to one side of the political aisle or the other. This song is, about all politicians, whether you're conservative, liberal, Republican, Democrat, whatever. And for those who are in the international audience, again, this may be something new for you in terms of like this song and what's going on currently in our country about this particular song. But, and I'm sure that a lot of countries have their own internal, political issues. But this song just really made an impression on a lot of people. Okay, I think a lot of reaction channels have just included it just because, it's the thing to do. It's we don't really know what's going on, or they act like they don't know what's going on. I know exactly what's going on with this song. I've heard this song a few times, not a lot. I'll be honest with you. When I first heard it, I don't disagree with the lyrics. I just wasn't a big fan of his style of music. But I think it's an appropriate song to include on here. Again, you can agree or you can disagree with what he has to say, and you're perfectly fine. This is my channel, and if you don't agree with the fact that I'm including the song on my channel, I apologize, in advance that this may be offensive to you. And if that's fine, I don't apologize for including it, but I don't want to be offensive to anybody. But if that's the way you feel, this channel may not be for you, and I get it, and I wish you the best of luck. But I want to make sure that I include the song because I think that it actually is very important, and I agree with what he has to say on here. Now, there are a couple of words in here I'm not a big fan of, including, language in music and so forth, but that's the way that he feels strongly about what he sings about, and I guess that's his right. He wrote the song. Okay, so not going to be talk about it anymore right now. So we're just going to go ahead and jump into it. This is the video to the song. I haven't actually seen the video all the way through. So I've heard, like I say, I've heard the song for the most part all the way through. I think some snippets here and there, mostly on media and so forth. But I don't think I've actually seen him doing the song. We're going to see it right now. So no more talking. Here we go. Oliver Anthony and Richmond, north of Richmond.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men, north the rich men. I wish politicians would look out for miners, and not just miners on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare. Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men, north of rich men. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay.
And there you have it, Oliver Anthony and Richmond, north of Richmond. So, to me, you can't really put this song out there as a reaction or anything like that unless you actually address the lyrics, address the content, right? I don't think it's appropriate. I'll be honest with you, like I said at the outset, I think I've seen this song has been addressed on other reaction channels, or it's been included, I guess I should say. I haven't really watched any other reaction channels, what the reactors have said about this song, if they've said anything. They may have just commented on the guy and his voice, and that he did a pretty popular song. To me, I think it's remiss if you don't actually address the whole content, because I know this is it is a controversial song, and I'll admit that in a lot of circles. Not in my circles. It's not a very controversial song at all. Again, I'm not a big fan of all the language, but I get it, because a lot of times I think it seems like if you don't include some language in there, then it tends to lend, I think, in some people's minds, it tends to lend more credibility to the anger and the frustration that the singer is expressing, and that may or may not be true for a lot of folks, whatever. But I think that what he has to say is absolutely correct, and especially here in America, where right now there just seems to be all kinds of political issues, all kinds of problems on both sides of the aisle, right? And I'm going to say both sides of the aisle. This is not an episode where I'm going to say, hey, this is what we ought to be doing, this is what you have to think, this is what you have to believe, because it's not appropriate. Everyone's free. This is what makes our country the way that it is. Everyone's free to believe what they want to believe. Whether it be over on this side or whether it be on that side. The point is that we all need to come together. But I think his frustration, of course, is that just some of the things he mentioned. He talks about the miners and the island, and I think we all know what that refers to, right? I don't have to get into that. But he talks about welfare. He talks about how money doesn't go as far as it used to, and there's a lot of reasons for that. I think some of those reasons again don't need to be addressed in this forum. But the bottom line is that, for me, I do understand exactly what he's saying. I do understand his frustrations, and I tend to agree with most everything that he has to say. And, again, you may be on the opposite side. You may have other opinions about that, and that's perfectly fine. And I think it would be kind of, a lot of people are like, well, you don't want to run off your audience by putting this channel, the song on your channel. If people leave or they feel like this is not the channel for them because they see this song on there, well, like I say, it's on a lot of different channels, but it's not why I included it. I included it because it's a cultural song. It's out there, and I think that it needs to be addressed. And this is the perfect kind of forum to do that, right? So, again, it's a different type of song, a different type of voice. Not a huge fan of, this type of music in terms of would I go and just buy an entire album of these kind of songs? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe you feel differently about it, but at the end of the day, I feel like it was an important song to put out here. Again, I don't know what other reactors are saying or doing about it, and it doesn't really matter. This is what I do on my channel, and I'm going to put it out there, and I'm going to leave it up to you as the audience, the viewers, because you guys know what you like, you know what you're into. Put it out there for you to decide, and if you have any opinions or comments, feel free to put them down below. The commenters and everyone, I don't know who the subscribers are on this channel necessarily. A lot of times I don't know the comments I see. I don't have identification of this as an individual. So if you've got an opinion one way or the other, feel free to share. It doesn't matter. I mean, no one's going to come back at you and say, hey, you're right, you're wrong, you're whatever, and blast you for it. If anyone does, then I'll be honest with you. If anyone makes any kind of opinion, comment, and someone comes at them, and I see that, then I will be happy to remove the comment. I have no problem with that because, again, I can only speak for myself. You guys can speak for yourselves. But I want to put it out there and let you guys decide on how you feel. But again, Oliver Anthony, Richmond, north of Richmond, big song right now in America. And for those of you who already know, for those of you who don't know, I should say, he's turned down multi-million-dollar contracts. He didn't really ever want to become a big-time singer. I think he just kind of was doing this as a Facebook type thing for the last few years, and then this song just kind of took off and kind of garnered him, unwanted, necessarily, and also just probably unexpected notoriety and popularity. But I think maybe he's using it to his advantage now. That's fine. I mean, that is what it is. But he has turned down multi-million-dollar contracts, and he doesn't really want his music to be out there run by a corporate, machine. He wants to be able to run his own thing. And if he's going to be a musician and people are going to be in demand for his music, he's going to run it the way that he wants to. Perfectly fine with that. Best of luck to him going forward in the future. Like I said, I do see what he's saying. I do see the frustration that he's vented. But again, whether it's songs got a political bent or not much different than a lot of songs that we've seen in our past. So there you go. Anyways, well, that's it for today's episode. And like I said, if you're not a subscriber, feel free to come on over, join this big family. We keep all this great music alive, and we address, again, as you can see, the cultural songs of the day as well. And like I say, now, if you haven't seen any previous content, feel free to go down and check out the hashtag down below, Face the Music Reactions, or simply just go to my playlist. You can see all the previous content in there. I'm sure you'll find, there's a lot of other great content, music artists and so forth, that I'm sure you'll enjoy as well. Come on back. We've got a lot of more great music in store for you. I'll see you next time right here on Face the Music. Take care.